All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brett, and this is the Christian Rebel. I hope all of you are having a blessed day. So in today's video, I got one for you, and it is about the dire wolves and robots. That's right. I'm going to share a couple video clips with you, and then I'm going to ask you a question. So let's go to the first one, which is from the Global News. It was a report about the dire wolves coming back from extinction.
So de-extinction to us is recreating these phenotypes. So a gray wolf is the closest living relative of a dire wolf. They're genetically really similar, 99.5% similar. And phenotypically, their morphology is also similar, only dire wolves are larger, more muscular, and have these light-colored coats and other things that we can see from the fossils. And so we targeted DNA sequence variants that we believe lead to those traits. And then we edited gray wolf cells to contain those dire wolf DNA variants. And then we cloned those cells and created our dire wolves.
Question for you. Should we as humans be cloning? My answer is no, we should not. And that's going to lead into the other question I'm going to ask after I share these two video clips with you.
Sort of looked at what we do with gray wolves. We beefed up the caloric values of the formula, and we began putting them onto a puppy milk replacer or formula. And then quickly, by 8 weeks, they were weaning and being fed whole solid foods. So they're getting everything from ground meats like beef and deer and horse meats all the way to now they're actually experiencing whole prey. So they get to sort of chew on meat and bones and all of that. And then, as they develop, they start showing you hunting instincts and stalking instincts. What they'll probably never learn is, right, what is the finishing move of how you kill a giant elk or a big deer, something like that. Those are sort of those finely tuned social learning opportunities that these guys won't have.
So, yes, they have slightly genetically modified wolves, maybe.
I agree.
And that's probably the best that you're going to get. And those slight modifications seem to have been derived from retrieved direwolf material. Does that make it a direwolf? No. Does it make a slightly modified gray wolf? Yes. And that's probably about it. Where do you put them? I mean, this is one thing that seems to be completely lost on the de-extinction people, is that, let's say that even you manage to bring back a sufficient number of mammoths or dire wolves to create a viable population. This is important because you need thousands of completely genetically diverse individuals in a population for having any chance of surviving into the future. The whole Adam and Eve concept of you create two and they can just go on and do their own thing. Now that's called inbreeding depression. And then things die very quickly. Most introductions of most species fail, over 99%. Why? Because there's a few individuals that inbreed themselves out of existence. And this is the same with respect to in humans. It happens in humans, it happens in mice, it happens in the smallest individuals. When you claim all these great big things and then you don't provide the associated evidence, especially in something as controversial as this, that is a massive red flag. It suggests that, well, at best, they've over-exaggerated. At worst, they're lying through their teeth.
So what do you guys think about the dire wolf? I think it's kind of neat, I guess. It's kind of cool looking, but in my opinion, they're extinct. They should have probably stayed extinct. And I agree with this last gentleman. They're not truly dire wolves because they were used gray wolf. They used, I can't explain the science, but they combined gray wolf with dire wolf material. I guess the best way I can explain it. And they should have just left it alone. I got another clip for you, and this one is about robots. And it's in the news today. AI and they've been robots out there that kind of look almost human, but this one I thought was kind of interesting. So let me share this with you. This robot was able to walk, run, crawl. Oh my goodness. Roll. goodness. Breakdancing. That is amazing. So now we're creating robots and AI and Robots and AI Institute. Huh. So before I get to the Bible verse, I got a question for you. Is man trying to play God in trying to create things in our own image? And are we worshiping these things in a way? So my Bible verse for you comes from Romans chapter 1. So let me share that with you. And it starts at verse 18. This is about the wrath of God. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, creating dire wolves, creating robots, creating AI. Of course, this is written back to the Romans back in the day, but can we apply these verses to today? And their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. I could go on from there where God's wrath continues. In verse 25, he says, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worshipped and served the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. So who's the creature? Could that be us? Because we're worshiping created things like animals and creeping things and four-footed beasts and birds made like to corruptible man, like that robot, which can be corrupted. So this is just a question from a Christian. Are we doing this that Romans chapter 1 is saying, and have changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things? Who changed it, verse 25 again, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worshipped and served the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forevermore. Amen. I recommend that you read this whole chapter. So when you watch the video about the dire wolf and about the robots and AI coming on the scene over the past year or so, it's to me, it's a little scary that we are trying to be like God. Us humans are trying to create things that are extinct, or trying to create things that we should not be creating. I think AI could be used in the future for nefarious things, and it may be already being used for bad things. So I want you guys to comment below on what I shared today from Romans chapter 1 in these two videos. Are we humans playing God? In my opinion, the answer is yes. We need to stop worshiping the creature and start worshiping the creator. Comment below if you agree or disagree, and comment below what you think about the dire wolf and robots and AI. All right, guys, if you like good Christian content, please like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification bell. And until next time, be a rebel and follow Jesus. Always choose that narrow path. And until next time, you guys keep the faith.